still chasing fire through the years half slow. Weights on my back, sweat in my eyes. Old man's fight never says die. Old man on the mat, still standing tall. One more round, yeah, I've heard it all. Grip the edge, don't let it slip. Strength in the soul, strength in the grip.
Hey guys, our guest today is rocking it out there in Arizona. And one thing I find out very interesting about this lady, she's been in martial arts since 1989. And no, it doesn't mean she's an old lady. That means she was like half a year old when she started. But anyway, she's a martial artist. She's also an author. She has a second-degree black belt in Tang Sudo and Taekwondo. She has other things here, but we're going to talk about that as we go. But with that, guys, I give you Andrea Harkins. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me on the show. It's very exciting to be here.
Hey, yeah, I appreciate taking the time. I know your schedule is limited out there with all the stuff you're doing. Hey, I like the picture behind you. Is that you?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Did you draw it?
No, you know what happened with that was I have a photo version of that, and I had a fan, a woman artist on Facebook, and she created that painting for me. So it's cool. An original painting that she created for me based on one of my photos, and she sent it to me. And so I've had it hanging in my office ever since.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It looks real. A beautiful photo.
It is. Oh my gosh. Well, let's jump into this. When did you start? I know you started in 1989. Let's hear your story. So how did you start? What launched you into martial arts? I hope it wasn't a horrible situation, or just thought, you want to get out there and fight and all this stuff. So what started? How did you start this?
It's kind of funny situation, actually. I honestly had no interest in martial arts. I've never been someone who watched martial art movies. I didn't know anything about martial arts. The reason I started in 1989 is I had been married a year at that point. And my husband said, there's a martial art, there's like a rec center really nearby. Why don't we try martial arts together? He said, I've done it when I was a kid. And I thought, well, okay, it's not my thing, but newly married. Yes, let's try it. Yeah. And so that's how I started. And I tell this story a lot. In the first class, I hated the first class because, my generation of women, we were trained to be polite and not yell, not fight, not break things. And I walk into this class and that's what everybody's doing, right? Yelling, fighting, breaking things. So like, wait a minute, this is not for me. I'm like a very, not too confident person. This doesn't seem like a good situation for me. I continued going because obviously he wanted to. And then one day sort of found my sense of focus and confidence in one of the classes. And that was the moment I was like, you know what? Maybe this is for me. I didn't have an athletic background. I wasn't super fit. I didn't have really anything going for me, except that I really started to like it. And, so that's how it all began.
Okay. So when you first stepped on the mat, you were scared, you were nervous and all those fun things. Now, when did you decide, you know what, I really like this. I really like punching people or whatever.
Well, I didn't really like it, for a while. But one thing happened. I've had a few defining moments, I would say, in martial arts. Yeah. The first defining moment and kind of the day I decided it was something maybe I should pursue and give 100% to was when I was a yellow belt. And these classes back in the day, they were big. There was a lot of people in classes, all different levels, several instructors, very few women back then. Yeah. But I just remember we used to stand in attention when the class started. Everybody would stand in an attention stance. And so I was just doing my thing, right? Just standing in attention, waiting for instructions or next steps. And I just remember the instructor calling out my name, and I was thinking, oh, what am I doing wrong? And he said, everybody, look at Andrea. And I was like, oh my gosh, all these black belts are in here. Why is everybody going to look at me? And he said, look at her focus. He said, that's intense. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know I was doing that,
Was it fear? No.
It was probably fear and everything else. So it was kind of interesting. moment for me that sort of sparked something that said, maybe you can do this. Like, it was a lot of talking to myself because I really wasn't sure I was capable of it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first moment where I was like, okay, all right, if I'm good at something in this, maybe I should give it a try and really commit to it.
Okay.
Maybe give 100%, which in my younger years, I was not known to give 100% to anything in my life. I was always like the average mediocre person, student,
I get it.
whatever. And it was kind of the first time I was like, well, maybe I will actually commit and give 100%. So that's what sparked my ongoing interest.
Okay, so as yellow belt, before yellow belt, you were basically playing around with it kind of thing, just doing it because you're with your husband.
I was a white belt, right? You had to test for yellow. That back then, yellow belt was the first rank after being just a beginner white belt.
Okay.
The thing about being a white belt is that I had so many other commitments. I had working full time. I was raising a family. Had 4 children. Trying to squeeze in martial arts. When I started, I didn't have 4 children. When I started, I had no children, but then I had my first. Yeah. But the thing was, the time commitment was difficult for me with work and, initial marriage years. So I was only going to class once a week. It took me like a year. It took me a year to become a yellow belt. It takes everybody else 3 months.
Okay.
I was only going the once a week. I was practicing when I could. It was still kind of casual for me. But but when I hit that yellow belt and I finally got that belt and I actually was in that class, that's kind of that's what's transformed me. But I was a beginner for a long time.
That's okay. That's okay. I started martial arts when I was young too. I was 8 years old, and you're going through these things. Well, tell me, what do you think has happened to martial arts since you started 89? Has it gotten, and I have a feeling that, has it gotten softer and more gone away from true self-defense? I remember back in the 80s, man, going to those tournaments, man, those things hurt, man. We didn't have all the paddings, and it was like crazy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely changed. What was exciting back then, as I mentioned, it was a rec center. There were a lot of people there practicing. I don't see that a lot anymore. I don't see places where there are like 30, 40 people all in one place, right? And so it was popular like that.
Yeah.
We were in Florida. We sometimes didn't even have air conditioning in some of these places. Oh, yeah. It was hot as hell. But nobody cared. You just did your thing. Everybody was sweating and you didn't worry about touching each other or working out just because you were sweating or whatever it might be. So that was fun. There were very few women at that time practicing. So in that big set of people that I'm talking about, there were only a couple of women. There were, I think, 2 women instructors, and then there were like a couple of peers of mine, 2 women. So in that regard, it's changed a tremendous amount, right? Now we have a lot of girls and women learning martial arts. It was a little more hardcore. Like you didn't worry about things. You just did them. I feel like nowadays people worry, am I going to get hurt? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? What's it going to be like? Back then you're just like, okay, I'm just going to do that. Try it. Yeah. Just whatever they tell you, you just try
it. It hurts.
And honestly, I've never had, I think this was a question that you mentioned, but I've never had injuries from martial arts personally.
Really? Wow.
But
praise God.
I tempered my training in a certain way. I mean, I never did a full contact fight. I was not into that, and it wasn't required. We did point sparring. That helped you learn your skill. Yeah. I did jujitsu. I did rolls and falls and throws and all of that. I never was injured doing any of that. And so now as I get older, my choice not to put myself in situations where I'm going to easily be injured, because your body changes, your bones change.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't need that. I know how to defend myself if I have to. I hope and pray that I never have to. Yeah. But I have the knowledge to do that. And that's all I really need at this point in my life. But so
that's good, man.
It's changed for the better in some ways. And I think not for the worse, but just different. Right?
I'll agree with that.
It's very different. Hardcore.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Because back then, and I don't want to say like, back in my day, we were climbing hills in the snow. Yeah, but back in my day, I started, like I said, as a young kid, and man, it was hardcore. It was, you come home with busted lips all the time, black eyes, and the whole thing. Or was that just child abuse? No, my instructor was doing, but you see it now, and I don't like to knock any martial arts at all. I just see the differences of where we come from and where we're going. And I see that, and nothing's wrong with making money in martial arts. Nothing at all. If that's what you're doing. I had a gym for 10 years, and we looked to make all the money we could without sacrificing self-defense and the technique. And I've seen some of these places start to dwindle down to more of a money pit. Just make money. And the kids, you can see that the students coming through aren't that, I won't say good, but aren't that, I can take their money.
Yeah, I know where you're headed with that. I mean, we call those usually McDojos.
Yep, exactly. McDojos,
yeah, I haven't run across those too much in my time, but I've seen people complain about certain places, and I agree with you. But there's two sides to the coin. Martial arts can be a business, a viable business. In fact, one of the books I've written 3 books. One of them is about starting a martial art program for profit, if that's your choice.
Right.
So the thing is, it can be a career, or it can be a sideline or a side gig, or whatever you want it to be. And you can get paid for it. You have an expertise or a skill that other people don't have that's worthy of being paid for what you do. So, of course, I taught martial arts for more than 25 years at mostly at a YMCA or rec centers, nature parks, a lot of different places. We always charged a fee.
Yeah.
I also did it for free for 7 years when I first became an instructor. So you have some balance to learn how to instruct better and things like that. But it can be a profitable business. There's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with it is like what you said, if you're not providing an actual service to people, you're not giving them what they need to become martial artists or self-improve and learn how to defend and fight and do the things. Or if you're only doing it at a very minimal, just so that they keep coming and paying. So that is always something that you have to look out for when you're looking for a martial arts school.
Yeah.
So, but there is two sides to the coin. I feel like it is a viable business, and it can be full-time if you want. I always did it part-time, and I did make money doing it. So
nothing's wrong with that at all. Now, what made you decide to write your book? What's the title of your book here about how to run a business?
Yeah, so I have 3 books. The most recent is called How to Start Your Own Martial Art Program.
Okay.
The reason I wrote that is a couple of things. One, I've started a lot of martial art programs myself that were viable, and I earned money doing it.
Yeah.
Secondly, I wrote that around the time of COVID, where martial artists were losing their kind of brick and mortar schools, right?
Yeah.
Nobody could come.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They have to shut down. So I wrote this to help show that they could still have a martial arts school, or they might want to call it a program, and put it into local rec centers, YMCAs, and those kinds of places where they didn't have to have the brick and mortar expenses. Right?
Yeah.
You're renting, you got to pay all that stuff.
Right.
So it was just an option, because I had done it several times.
Yeah.
That I thought would be helpful to other people. It's still a viable book, because again, people who are starting off as martial art instructors want to sort of break off and start teaching on their own. This is perfect for them. It gives really step by step all of the things you need to know and do about starting your own program, from where to have it located, to how much to charge, to business plans, to
that's good.
It's just chock full of information for any person who wants to just start a martial art program. But I really did it around the time of COVID, where I just saw people very frustrated with their losses because of the COVID situation.
Oh yeah. What's the title of your book?
How to Start Your Own Martial Art Program.
Okay. Well, to the point. There you go.
You know what it is.
Exactly. That's good. Because you said it a few seconds ago. I'm thinking, oh no, I want the title.
That is the title.
That's good.
That's the title.
Easy to find, and that's good. You can find that all over the place on Amazon and all the bookstores and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think it's going to be, I think that's something good everyone knows, because I remember doing COVID, and our gym is a contact gym, well, at the time it was a contact gym, so we're trying to move it to online training. Now that was, yeah.
That's crazy.
grab your kid and flip them over their shoulder, and like that on the couch. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. That's good.
Now what are your other books you wrote? You wrote total 3 books.
3 that are martial art related. I've written one that's not martial art related, but the first book I wrote was in 2016.
Okay.
It was called The Martial Arts Woman. And at first it was going to be a book about me and my life experiences. But I had a publisher at the time, and he said, it would be really good if you had other women contribute to this book. And it was way back when I was just starting social media. I was a small town martial artist. So I was trying to make my way on social media. And this was about 12, 13 years ago. Yeah. And he said, you should have other women. I said, I don't know any other women. I'm not online a lot. I don't know women. So he gave me this long list of women that he knew.
Oh, did he really?
That were prominent in martial arts.
Okay.
And so I reached out to them and I said, would you like to be part of the book? And most of them said yes. And so they contributed stories to the book. And so half the book is sort of about me and my stories, but it's separated into chapters. And the other half of the book is other women's stories. And it was sort of a trailblazing kind of book at the time, because it wasn't really anything like it before, where several martial art women were talking about martial arts and how they affected their lives. Yeah. So it's not a book about technique. It's not a book about styles. It is a book about women and how they've transformed their lives for martial arts. And the stories, though, are amazing. When I didn't realize what I was going to learn in doing this. Yeah. I mean, being one of the last women to escape from Vietnam and how she came over here and became a master, a woman who was a martial artist who was going blind, and how she was going to cope with that. I didn't expect these stories to emerge. That's why the book is so interesting. Every story is like a wow story. You're like, what? Yeah. And so it was kind of a really, it's still for sale. It's on Amazon and it's worthy of reading. It's like really a timeless piece of work because these stories are just so incredible. So it was the book number 1. Book number 2 was called Martial Art Inspirations for Everyone. And it really was just sort of a motivational read that people could maybe read a page a day or a page a week. And it was about applying martial arts to life. What to do when you feel like giving up. Yeah. What if you're having a bad day today? How can you remedy that? Maybe with a martial art mindset. How do martial arts affect all of us? How can you look at your life, even if you're not a martial artist, as if you were a martial artist? What would you? How would your life be different? So it's really a bunch of reflections, and it helps. And the premise for that was really just to help people get through their struggles. Not feeling like you're good enough, or feeling like you can't learn something, or feeling stuck in your life. And so it's kind of concepts that everybody has or goes through. Yeah. And just trying to inspire people to continue in their passions, their journeys, the things that they want to do.
That is cool. And I tell you, that hits home, because I tell you, being older, I'm still 21. Yeah, right. But I'm holding on to that. Every day, and it sounds crazy, every day is a struggle for me. My body hurts, but I still enjoy doing martial arts, and to get up every day and to set that routine, to stay on the mat, still do those things. That could be the hardest thing. I think your book would come in handy for guys to listen to that, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's the motivation that we all need, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, because you started with your husband. Now, how important has he been to your journey? I mean, I know your husband. I know that he's important. But I mean, was he the one pushing you to get up in the morning, pushing you to go to training and all those things, or
not really? Yes, it was very important. We did our martial art journey together. We both went up to 2nd degree together. We both taught together for 25 years. So everything's been connected. But I wouldn't say he was my sole reason. I mean, he was the reason I started, but the rest was just I found my inspiration in it. And I found the changes that I wanted to make in my life through martial arts. So we really, we have different sort of even paths in how we teach or train or do things, but we did do it all together. And so that's an amazing achievement in itself.
Okay. That's good. You guys still spar at home? Like who's going to do the dishes or anything?
No, we don't.
Because he would be doing the dishes, I bet. That's
Actually,
awesome.
I do the dishes. He does all the cooking and I do the dishes. So that's how it works.
That's not a bad deal, man.
We learned how to separate duties, and we had to do that when we were teaching too, because we're both leaders. And so we couldn't really effectively co-teach.
Yeah.
He always set like the plan for the class.
Yeah.
And so I would show up and kind of alter the plan just because, I want to do this, and he was like, after a while, I was like, you can't do that. I fixed this plan. I know how it needs to go. Yeah. And you can't just jump in and decide to do something else. And I said, oh, you're right. So we decided that he would be the lead instructor and I would be the support instructor. I would be the other instructor, but he would be the one to do all that because he was the one putting the work into the planning.
Yeah.
So you got to figure things out like that when you teach together.
Yeah.
With a spouse.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be hard with a couple doing it together, and they sometimes bring home onto the mat, you know what I mean? It's just not good.
Right.
I was blessed into, one of an instructor couple that I've worked under in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is Carlos and Patty. And they work just like you're saying. He's the head instructor, she's assistant, and they work that out. You've never seen the family life come onto the mat. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Where your students can't see that, they're fighting today.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys started your martial arts career together let's say your school, and I know you said you decided and began to let him lead. Now, did you have more women that would come into the gym to come to you and be like, hey, I need to learn this instead of going to him?
No, I mean, there weren't a lot of women still.
Okay.
We had a couple. And they actually, learned just as easily from him as from me. They didn't really ask for any differentiation. Where I found that kind of thing was more if a gentleman came in and wanted to learn about the class or join the class, that even though I was dressed in uniform and greeted him, that they would still ask to speak to the instructor and point to my husband.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm an instructor. Like, I got a lot of that. I've got a lot of that.
I was going to be the next one with that.
When there's a man and a woman, the people are going to naturally think that the man is the instructor, that you're not. Yeah. So I dealt with that. I also dealt with a lot of trying to show simple self-defense techniques to men who would just outright say, this will never work. And then I'd say, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Grab my wrists and let me just try it.
Yeah.
And then I would get out of it and they'd be like, oh, okay. Had to prove myself a lot.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's all part of learning and training.
Right. Exactly. Now, have you had it where there's, you be the only instructor sometime and men wouldn't want to learn from you because you are a female?
Nobody actually outright acted like they didn't want to. I think once they got to know me that they were fine with it. But, maybe initially they'd prefer a man. But I think almost always my husband and I were together. It was rare when I would teach a class without him or he would teach without me. Yeah. So, we always had kind of those options, but we never split it up like, okay, women with Andrea. No, we didn't. We didn't do that. It was more like, what are we teaching? You teach this, I'll teach this. Everybody will rotate. We'll start this way and then they'll rotate and go to you to learn yours. They'll come to me to learn mine. And that's a lot of
that's really good. Okay. Okay. And I noticed a lot of your things are emphasized on women. Why is that?
Yeah, just because I am a woman in martial arts and I've seen the changes over time. I know that there's still a lot of discrimination for women. Also on social media, it's very difficult. I have to remind women that they're going to be criticized. Whereas a man will post a kick picture or doing something on martial arts, and he seems to receive support and encouragement and wow. But the minute a woman does it, and I come across this all the time for me, is that some man or a couple of men will start to pick apart what she's doing. And I'm like, but
Oh,
you don't do that
jeez.
to other guys. So why are
Yeah.
you doing it to women? So I wanted to be the voice for women to say, hey, you know, no matter what anybody thinks, you're just as worthy of posting things on social media that you like to do.
Yeah.
You just post it, just block the people if they're giving you a hard time about it.
Yeah.
I like to do kick. I do a lot of kick photos on my stuff because, first of all, 62 years old. How many of the 62-year-old women are out there practicing martial arts, doing kicks, doing all of that?
Yeah.
So I post my kick pictures. Now, are my kicks perfect? Are they technique-wise awesome? They can be. I just choose to do things differently. I choose to do things for myself now. And so some of my kicks will be just simply for me to show flexibility. So are my hands and arms in the right place at the time that I do that? Not really, because I'm focusing on flexibility.
Yeah.
But people love to pick those apart. Well, your hand is down, your arm is down. I know. I'm not doing a real technical
You're taking a picture. Right.
I am just doing a kick for myself for flexibility. If I'm not going to do it for flexibility, I'll add my arms back in. But if I want to see, maybe how high can I actually? So I get a lot of that. But I wanted to make it different for women. I wanted to say, you're worthy of being out there. Please post your things. Show what you're doing.
Yeah.
And is it perfect? No, but you know what? Nobody's perfect, even the people picking on you.
Yeah.
So just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I say. I enjoy doing kicks and I do them my own way because I'm not training right now in Tank Sudo. I'm just doing something for Andrea that Andrea likes.
Okay.
You don't have to always be perfect and do
Yeah.
what your style requires. You can, on your own time, do whatever the heck you want, you know?
Yeah,
But get out there and just be yourself. And so I like to be the voice, the spokesperson, sort of, for women. Give them that empowerment.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. 'Cause, you know, now, I mean, there's women martial arts in every aspect of martial arts. You know what I mean? They're everywhere. And quite a few of them I'm afraid of. And that's no joke. I've seen some stuff. Now, I know you said that you can defend yourself or anything. You've never been in a fight. You've never been had to defend yourself. What's the mindset that you think that you can defend yourself? I know it's an off-the-wall question, but as you're talking, I'm thinking about that, you know. How do you feel you can defend yourself?
That I need?
Yeah.
What's the mindset that I need?
Yeah.
I think, first of all, it's just the mindset is always survival. It's like, I am not going to give up.
Okay.
For me, I am not going to give up if somebody attacks me.
Yeah.
Does it mean I won't get hurt? No, I'll probably get hurt. But does it mean I'll survive? Well, you know, kicking and punching and biting and spitting and whatever I can do.
Yeah.
So it's really my mindset. Like, I am not going to give in. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
And I think if you're not a martial artist or you're not trained in martial arts, you may not have that mindset.
Yeah.
You may not think that you can survive or that you can fight back. Some women, you know, as simple as learning how to yell, right?
Yeah.
In martial arts, when you learn how to yell while you're doing a form, kia, whatever you call it. Some women can't or won't do it.
Yeah.
That's how insecure they are of their own ability to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So you have to, I feel like most women need some kind of martial art or self-defense training so that they do have the mindset of survival.
Yeah.
You know, not just fighting back, but I am going to survive and I am going to get out of this.
Yeah.
Don't let someone put you in a car. Don't let somebody back you into a corner.
I like that.
Use awareness as your defense. That's what I use, right? I don't go out late at night by myself. I don't put gas in the car when it's dark. I don't, you know, wear provocative clothing. I do the things that I feel like I can do preventatively.
Yeah.
So that I'm not in it. Doesn't mean I'm safe. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get attacked, but decreases my risks. So survival is the mindset. And I think martial arts give you that, right? When you have to point, even if you're just sparring for points, you have that feeling of fight or flight. You have that feeling. And that, I think, gives you some comfort in that feeling if you need to face it in real life.
Yeah. I like that. I like what you were saying here too. I picked up on something you said there when you said you don't dress provocative out there. And what I find that I've trained women before. I've done self-defense seminars back when I was in college. I work with the Chicago Police Department on aggressive tactics. And one thing I find is like a lot of women are thinking, I won't say a lot, I don't want to generalize. There's some women, I want to dress the way I want to dress and whatever. And I like what you said. It's not about that. It's about being smart and being safe out there. No one's saying you can't dress that way, but why would you? You know, in my opinion.
I always say, yes, we live in the United States. Mm-hmm. You're lucky you can do whatever you want. You can wear whatever you want.
Yeah.
This is not about that.
Yeah.
This is about taking responsibility for yourself. Yeah. If you're going to dress provocatively, people are going to look at you.
The nature of the beast.
Follow you. People may come up and talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, okay, yeah, sure. If it makes you feel better about yourself, but there are risks.
Yeah.
And especially if you're by yourself, you're not with another group, you know, maybe a group of women. Okay, they're going out partying. At least you're with
a little different.
Right?
Yeah.
It still doesn't mean you're safe, but you're with a group. But those things do matter. And I feel like we have to take responsibility for our actions and would never blame a victim for a situation. It's never a victim's fault.
Never.
Even if they're wearing provocative clothing, this is simply about awareness and avoidance and that kind of thing. That's all it's about.
Yeah. It's about creeps out there. There's like you say, we're in America, but there's still creeps out there. I remember doing a self-defense seminar, and it was for women's self-defense, and I was doing the part where I talk about, you know, rape prevention, about the numbers and all these things. And the lady got so upset. She says, "Why don't we just teach you men not to rape us?" I said, "That would be utopia. Why can't we do that?" That's not going to work that way. You need these things to protect yourself. Well, I don't believe. I think we should really push for men to be different. I'm like, good luck with that.
You know, you're not going to change that.
No.
You have to change. You have to change yourself, and you can't change other people in anything.
In anything. I wish we did live in a beautiful utopia society. Everybody skipping and quoting the Bible every day and skipping around. No, it's not happening. Now, are you into any weapons like guns and knives and things?
No, I've never really been into the weapons. I've not really trained. I mean, I've trained minimally over the years. We did some of it in my early years of training. Mostly what I'm doing, I mean, I still practice all of my Tang Soo Do. I just got certified in a Tai Chi for Health program, so I'm going to be teaching that.
Wow.
And I've done sword and Tai Chi before, which is a very beautiful form and weapon, but I've not done like the traditional weapons. We did some knife. I do remember knife techniques, and I still remember how to defend against them if somebody comes toward you like with a knife and over this way and that kind of thing, but not extensively.
Okay. You ever think about getting into guns? Hey, guns are where it's at. No.
I'm not a gun person.
Yeah, I get it. It's not for everyone, right? My daughter is raising them to tell them to shoot. They got guns, you know. The ex has guns. Everybody knows. I just think because it's a natural born equalizer. You know, you can be for guys, you can be the toughest guy out there, but there's always somebody tougher. So that's my preaching on guns. So get some guns. Okay, anyway, we're going.
I know. My husband has guns. I'm not just never been comfortable with that.
Yeah, just like anything, takes some training. But I'm not going to preach to you.
I know. It's just like anything, right? You learn how to use it properly, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when you're doing Tai Chi now, you know, I've seen some Tai Chi. Is that like that's the flowy, you know, you see in the parks over there in China and Japan and all that? So what drew you to that?
I've always loved Tai Chi. I've taken a Yang style Tai Chi for many, many years as a student.
Yeah.
And then recently when I moved to Tucson like 8 years ago, I couldn't find a Tai Chi system here that I wanted to learn. But I did end up stumbling upon a Tai Chi system called Tai Chi for Health. Okay. And so I learned that and got certified in that. And I'm looking forward to teaching that. I don't teach the Tang Soo Do all that much anymore. Okay. I teach self-defense on occasion if, a company needs it or something like that. But this one, I'm excited to go out and teach because Tai Chi is a little bit different from other martial arts in that it really stresses health and
Okay.
wellness and internal chi and internal energy. It's very calming. It helps with many illnesses, arthritis. It helps with mindset, negativity. It helps, just release negativity. So to me, it's a very positive type of system that
Yeah.
anyone can learn.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm going to start teaching that. And you can teach any age. I mean, the earlier you start Tai Chi
Yeah.
in your life, the actual healthier you're going to be over the course of your life. But
Okay.
unfortunately, a lot of people don't start it until they're older.
Yeah, I see a lot of older people doing that. Yeah.
But many older people have trouble with balance, and
Yeah.
this really helps them
Yeah.
regain a sense of balance. So I'm excited about it, and
Okay.
I'm looking for some places to teach it locally now, and it's going to be really, really great.
That's awesome. So it's weird how it started. I won't say weird, but funny. In '89, your husband nudging you to now you're, at 21 years old. I'm holding on to that for you too. You're out there just doing your own thing in martial arts, taking your own branch and running with it. That's neat.
Yeah. It's been amazing. I started. I mean, people know me as the martial arts woman.
Yeah.
That's sort of the brand that I do everything under.
Yeah.
And so I also, I've written the books. I've written for many martial art magazines over the years.
Really?
Martial Art Illustrated UK. I was a writer for that for many, many years. World Martial Art Magazine. I wrote for that for many, many years.
Wow.
I have a blog. I have podcasts. So I mean, I do everything.
That's
Everything
dang
to
awesome.
promote.
And your podcast is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The podcast is called The Martial Arts Woman.
I was going to say, is that the title?
It's been on hiatus for a little bit of time. I'm going
Yeah.
to start it back up in January, but so many interesting stories, just like the book.
Yeah.
The podcast usually pulls out these like wow moments, and you're like, what? You teach in Africa? Or, you're in a cult? I mean, you just...
That's good stuff. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of stuff. But yeah, see how far I've come. This is what I try to tell people is, first of all, you don't have to be the best martial artist in the world. You don't need to be perfect.
Yeah.
You can be from a small town like I was, where I was teaching martial arts, and somehow get to the point where you're writing books and doing podcasts and being in martial art hall of fames and getting certified in Tai Chi and teaching. I mean, it opens up a different world for you.
Wow.
But anybody can do it. It's all about effort and dedication, commitment.
You know
Anybody
what?
can do it, but not everybody's willing, as you know,
This
to
is
put
true.
100% dedication, commitment, involvement, work, and effort for something. So,
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. One thing about martial arts, and other than the you see the broody guys walking around, I think they're funny. I just walked past a guy. We were out in Gatlinburg, Tennessee last week, and the guy had the big arms walking, but he didn't have any laps. He was walking like that, and I said, I bet that guy thinks he knows martial arts. But the funny part is, I was getting at is that, looking at you, you would think she's just a nice lady doing her thing, and she can kill you. So you never know who's a martial artist.
somebody said to me, so I actually work a full-time job besides all this, and it's not martial art related. And somebody there found out I was a martial artist, and they thought I was just like some martial artist, local, everybody tries martial arts.
Yeah.
They looked me up on the internet and they're like, what the heck? We didn't know this. And they're like, you can't judge a book by its cover. And I said, exactly.
Yes.
And
awesome.
that's my true defense. That's my true defense, right? Nobody will know that I do martial arts if they try to attack me.
Very
the element
unassuming.
of surprise and defense is very important. So, anyway, you can't judge a book by its cover.
That's great. Have you had anybody just walk up to you and say, hey, that such and such lady, martial arts woman?
Only like if I'm at an event. I think I went to a martial art movie premiere here in Tucson once. It was Don the Wilson Dragon was in it.
Oh, yeah.
And his brother and some other folks. And they actually came to Tucson for the movie premiere. So I went to that. And when I went to that, there were several people that I didn't know that came up to me and said, "Are you the martial arts woman? You're the martial arts woman." So that was kind of neat. But other than that, no, it doesn't typically happen.
Oh, man.
Like here in Tucson.
You never know. People probably they recognize you're just scared to approach you. They're like, she's going to kill us.
Oh, stay away.
Well, being in Tangsudo, have you ever met Chuck Norris? I know
No.
you might get that.
No, but I did get his autograph. I did send him a letter once. It was, it was not in person, but I sent him a letter way back in the early years. And I said, "Would you sign a photo for me?" And he did. He sent it to me. I still have that.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome, man. Well, you know what? I have one to up that a little bit. Back in Chicago, when I was way back in the day, I was doing tournaments, and everyone that won their division, they got to line up in this front, and Chuck Norris was there, being like a guest ref and all that stuff. And to me, when he walked down that line and shook my hand, he said, "You're the best martial artist I've ever met in my life. I think you're better than Bruce Lee." That's what I heard, but actually, he just went down the line. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Good job, guys.
That's funny. Yeah. You hear what you want to hear. That's okay.
That's right. I don't think I washed that hand for weeks. No.
I also learned, which was very fun for me because I do like doing kicks. Superfoot Bill Wallace has an online class.
Yeah.
And he leads it and he's on it and the whole thing. And I did that for a couple of years recently. And I really enjoyed that. So that was kickboxing. And I just used the bag at home and he taught how to do kicks, and he only does 3 kinds of kicks, so I like that. I'm not into spinning jump kicks or anything like that. I like the basics. So
keep your feet on the ground, right?
Punching and kicking. It was fun. Great exercise too. So
that's good. Bill Superfoot, he's still out there. I saw one of his videos. I think he was in his living room or something doing one of his famous kicks.
I think he's turning 80.
Wow.
Yeah, trust me. I used to do this online class with him and I would stop halfway through and thought I was going to puke, and he was still going.
Oh, man. That's awesome, girl. So you've been around some of the big names out there, the big wigs. You have, I think you just peppered something in there. Martial artist woman of the year or something like that. You just peppered that in there.
Just a couple martial art Hall of Fame kind of things.
Oh yeah, something simple. Yeah. Listen to you. I like when you just peppered that in there. Just no one got it.
Yeah.
So what was probably your greatest accomplishment? I know you got to run. I want to talk to you more, but I know you said you got to go. But what was one of your greatest accomplishments when it came to martial arts?
Well, I think I'll be like everybody else and say probably earning my first black belt, because that was really symbolic of the fact that, remember I told you at the beginning of my training, I wasn't sure I wanted to commit to this.
Yes.
Can I give this 100%?
Yeah.
And I made the choice to do that, to commit and give 100%. And the black belt was when I realized that really does work. That is a viable system for success.
Wow.
Committing and giving 100%. So
wow.
I got my black belt and I thought I did it. And then I took that black belt and I decided to teach with my husband. And we went to a low-income neighborhood and we started teaching martial arts in the rec center there. And we were supposed to do it for a year for volunteer work.
Yeah.
And we did it for 7 years.
Wow.
And that was my biggest accomplishment, those 2 things. Getting a black belt, teaching people who needed it more than anyone else. I don't know. Everything after that has been just icing on the cake, I guess.
From a lady that was afraid on her first to being Miss Badass. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. So you touched on Tai Chi. That's your next project now. That's your next project now that's new for you?
Yeah, that's my next project. And I also have 2 books I'm working on now. One is about finding your martial art vibe and tribe.
Yeah.
And one is more of a positivity book about positive reflections and a journal. So I'm working on those 2, hoping to get some of those wrapped up soon.
Oh man.
And then wherever life takes me from there.
Oh my gosh. What do you do to relax, man? You're doing everything. When do you sit down and do nothing? I'm going to get my tie on the beach or something.
I know. I know, it's true. I do find time to relax. Usually on the weekend mornings, I do something relaxing, or, after work, sometimes I just don't do anything,
Okay.
But yeah, it's as it strikes me, as something comes to mind, then I'll start working on it as a project. Okay. But I'm just that kind of person. I like to be productive, and sometimes I get tired. Sometimes I'm like, why am I so tired? Oh, wait, I did all of this. I need a break.
Yeah.
So that happens too.
Oh man, that's awesome, Andrea. You have been amazing. I tell you, I enjoyed the stroll down memory lane. That's been so good. Well, before you get out of here, give us. I know you gave us your titles to a couple of your books. Give us the titles to all your books. Your podcast is starting back up in January, and how everybody can reach you.
Yeah. So the books: The Martial Arts Woman, Martial Art Inspirations for Everyone, and How to Start Your Own Martial Art Program. You can reach me on social media either under Andrea Harkins or The Martial Arts Woman. I'm on TikTok, which I think is where we connected. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was
Facebook,
TikTok. Yep.
Yeah, mostly TikTok and Facebook, but I have Instagram and all the others too. So yeah, just reach out and connect, and let's get to know each other over time.
That's awesome. You made my, what's today? Saturday. You've made my Saturday, I tell you. I appreciate you taking the time to come on with us. You are amazing, girl. Stay out of trouble out there and don't beat anybody up, right?
All right. I'll do my best.
There you go. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, man.